Tonight, a suspect is still on the run after a 2.5-hour chase. Investigators tell us they're confident they'll find him because they know who it is. We first told you about the search as breaking news early this morning. Here is what we know. Around 2:30 this morning, deputies tried to stop a car because its plates didn't match the registration. That was near Oakland Gravel and Blue Ridge Road in northeast Columbia. The driver took off, eventually crossing into Audrain and Callaway counties. He ditched the car in a cornfield where police dogs couldn't find him, and ended just after 5 in the morning. Since then, we learned he has numerous warrants involving drugs, assault, property damage, and stealing. He is well known by authorities and will face new charges after this. Today, ABC 17's Sarah Massler-Donar looked into how law enforcement makes a decision to chase a suspect and how you can be safe if a high-speed pursuit races by you. Sarah, law enforcement weighs a lot of factors before making the decision to chase a suspect.
It does, Lucas. When the suspect took off from this area here earlier this morning, law enforcement had just a few quick seconds to consider several of those factors you mentioned.
Yeah, I would say the Sheriff's Department, we get into pursuits maybe a couple of times a month.
Boone County deputies had to make a split-second decision this morning whether or not to pursue a suspect that took off during a routine traffic stop. According to law enforcement, they first have to decide if the suspect is worth pursuing.
If it's a minor infraction and we know who the person is, we're really not going to chase him.
Then, in just a few seconds, law enforcement has other factors it needs to consider.
You also have to determine the amount of traffic that's out there, the weather conditions, what type of road you're on, whether it's a 2-lane road versus a 4-lane road.
That means officers, deputies, and troopers are more likely to pursue a suspect early in the morning as opposed to, say, rush hour.
Early this morning, one of the factors that the deputies considered was light traffic, dry roadway. The risk to the public was significantly less than it would have been, say, if it was at 5 o'clock on a, Thursday afternoon.
And if you're out driving or walking and cars start flying by you in a high-speed pursuit, law enforcement says just get out of the way.
Anytime the public or a motoring public sees a emergency vehicle coming up behind them, they need to move to the right as quickly and as safely as they can and let those officers by. And it's also important if those officers are approaching them from the front to slow down and move over to the right as possible and give those officers as much room as possible.
Law enforcement I talked to today stressed to me that the most important thing they think about is public safety. So if a suspect is going to be a danger to the public, then law enforcement will chase them. But if the suspect won't be that much of a problem, but the chase would be dangerous for others on the road, then law enforcement won't chase. Reporting live here in Columbia, Sarah Massler-Donar, ABC 17 News.